Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy Jay-Z Bottom Lip, and today I wanted to explain to you guys what is Oki and how to utilize it. Oki is a term used to understand the state of what's happening when your opponent is knocked down to the ground, leaving your opponent to a few options, which is basically to armor, jump, or just to respect you. But Oki, if you utilize it correctly, leaves your opponent with only one option, which would be to block. And once they're in that state of blocking, because you have so much hit advantage, that it leaves them to having to guess off of the next interaction. Oki also can lead to a few other options. For you, example, for if you're the person that has knocked down your opponent to the ground, it leaves you with a few advantage against your opponent, which it could be strike throw. It can be good staggers into grab. It can be overhead low mix, shimmying setups with your cameos. And the reason you might want to use Oki in certain situations is when you have the life differences where your opponent has more life lead than you, and you're kind of going for a mixed setup. You're kind of sacrificing. Well, some characters do. Some characters can just lead to an Oki situation. Then some characters have to sacrifice damage over Oki, because a lot of times the strings that they have, you can't necessarily do a lot of damage and then go straight into a string that leads into Oki. For an example, we have Kung Lao right here. Kung Lao has a move that leaves you in an Oki situation. I have set the opponent to basically wake up with their armor. This is her armor waking up move. So if I don't use it right, I'll get hit. So if I use this string, it leaves you in a state where I'm able to jump and also walk forward. As you can tell, I'm walking forward, and by the time they get up off the ground, I can just jump and bait it. So his combo route, I'm not really a Kung Lao main, would be something like this. But if you wanted to go for an Oki situation, you could do things like this. And then you could take your turn back in that situation as well. Also, using Oki can lead to a meaty situation where you can actually even break your opponent's armor. It would look something like this. You're guaranteed certain options, which would be meaty. And then meaty leads to being able to break your armor or break your opponent's armor if they decide to wake up. It also allows them to have to respect you regardless of the fact, even if they wanted to wake up fatal blow armor or even just steal their turn, they have to respect you, because off of Oki leaves you at the point where even if your first move whiffed, your second move may not whiff. Also keep in mind, when you are in a situation where you do get to have Oki, you're not guaranteed every single last button that you have in your arsenals. So for an example, if I do this string, right here, dash forward and then do this, I will get hit. I was trying to do this string, but if I was to do this string, dive forward, do this, I will get blown up for it. So a lot of times when you have Oki or you're in an Oki situation, you kind of want to use your fastest button, which in my this example right here, I apologize. In this example, I would use 212 because it's one of my fastest buttons. I could maybe get away with this string, but since this is my fastest button, I will always go to this button. And then on top of that, what also makes this button really good, this leaves you +3. So even if they do respect you on wake up, you can just do this string, and then they still have to guess if you want to down poke or not. You also can even down poke into super armor because it's safe, unless you're going against Liu Kang that has a 6-frame normal. Other than that, you could do things like this to bait your opponent into thinking this their turn, because a lot of times after you down one, you give up your turn. But since Kung Lao's armor is safe, you could do something like that as well. It's very useful. Also, another thing to keep in mind as well, that sometimes even though you do have Oki, a lot of times your opponent may wake up depending on the situation. They might say, I don't give a fuck, I'm still gonna wake up regardless of the fact, right? So a lot of times they have good armor, even though you can break it. If you just mistime it slightly, which I'm trying to struggle on doing it, like you just see right there, if I mistime it slightly, or if I just mistime it at all and I don't know the timing to how to meet it against this character, they may also be able to wake up. Now, in my opinion, what makes this game so OD, I don't want to use the word busted or like lame, but what makes this game so OD is that even if you mistime your Oki, you have a cameo that can basically cover you. So it will look something like this, right? Let's say I did a combo, right? I have a cameo that will basically save my tail if I accidentally mess up. It doesn't always have to necessarily be Striker. It could be another cameo, but Striker is probably the most easiest to use when it comes to wanting your opponent to respect you, because a lot of times Striker leads to stunning your opponent. He can also combo into cancels. So it's like he's really, really strong for that one reason. So again, they're getting hit, and it's just nothing they can really necessarily do, because even though you didn't get a combo, they still got hit, and it just leaves them in a state where they still have to respect you. Striker kind of leaves them, I believe, in a state where they have to respect you, regardless if they get knocked down or not. It's just automatically your turn again. So I think that's kind of busted, because the whole point of like fighting games is taking risk reward, right? You know what I mean? So I got rewarded for hitting you, but now that Striker's here, he kind of like stops everything and negates the fact that I kind of won that game by waking up armor, regardless of the fact that you meated or not. It's like, you know, but it is what it is. I know somebody asked me in the comments to go over safe jumps. This would be in a situation where this was considered a safe jump. So the only time that you're necessarily able to get a safe jump if your move allow you to have Oki. And to understand when a move has Oki or leads to an Oki or a hard knockdown, most of the time hard knockdowns leads to Oki, but the way that you can understand if a move has hard knockdown is by looking at the hit advantage. A lot of times when you look at the hit advantage, if it's over, I would say, in my opinion, if it's like over like, I want to say 35, 37 and up, it's most likely lead to Oki. When it's like 30, when you see where it says hit advantage 30, not really, because you can do that to break their armor because it's Kung Lao, first of all, but you don't get a safe jump. See, now if it's a little higher than 30, I'm trying to look for a move that's like a little higher. Let's see about this move, right? So let's see. Okay, there we go. So anything that's like 34 leads to a safe jump, which is pretty cool, because that's really helpful. Because now what I'm thinking about that you should also think about too is that a lot of times when you get a safe jump, it allows the opponent to think that they can wake up armor once they see you go up in the air. Because most of the time when they see you go up in the air, you most likely think that they think that you're going to press a button as well. And then on top of that, if they see you go up in the air, they're automatically assuming that you're negative too. So that's something to think about. That's pretty cool. Now, another thing too to keep in mind is that, yeah, you have safe and non-safe jumps, but if you have a cameo that can kind of save your tail, then your opponent's going to respect you. There is a couple cameos in this game that kind of do that, which is Striker. So like if I wanted to get in on my opponent, I would kind of call in Striker as I'm jumping, and my opponent has to respect that, because the only thing that's going to happen there is he's going to down to me and he's going to get hit by Striker. Or if I time it correctly, this happens, and then I still get Oki. So that's something to think about as well. So basically, when it comes to Oki, it allows you to have more options over your opponent. It leaves them in a state where they're only able to think about one or two things, where it leaves you with many options, where you can grab, you can strike throw, you can lead to a stagger, armor break, you can bait 50-50s. You just have so many options. So think of it right now where we're standing at, we both have the same amount of options, whether it be strike throw, grab, it could be armor, it could be baiting each other, whatever the case may be. Neutral leaves us in a state of neutral where we both have the same amount of advantages. Now, when I use an Oki situation, or I get Oki, it leaves my opponent with a few options, and it leaves me with more options than them. So I get to have the best of both worlds, whether I just want to go for something simple or something simplistic, where it could be it could be like Quan Chi, where Quan Chi is doing more setups and he's able to get a portal off and so on and so forth. Is more beneficial for a character like this. Kung Lao, it is beneficial because he gets to keep his pressure going. He's more of a character that likes to pressure you and leave you overwhelmed, where Quan Chi just kind of wants to mix you and call it a GG. So it's two different states, but it's still the same thing as far as an Oki and leaving you in a situation where you have to guess and you don't have that many options. And then on top of that, even though where I just showed you Oki, sometimes it leaves Quan Chi in a sense where he's able to get a portal off and that's it. But if you have the correct cameo, it also allows you to be able to use that portal and continue your pressure as well. So the best thing to do in this game in particular is find you a character that allows you to capitalize off of Oki. And then you'll probably say, what would that be? It depends on your playstyle. It could be Striker, it could be Kano. Most of the time it's going to be an ambush character, to be exact. Other than that, I don't have nothing else to say, guys. I appreciate you guys giving me feedback as far as in, the videos are too long or, whatever the case may be. I've been listening to you guys, so I'm trying to shorten my videos. As far as in the mic goes, I have a really good quality mic. I just probably have very bad settings. I've been tweaking them around with it and messing with it, and that's probably why it's getting worse or it is worse. So I apologize for that. I've been trying to learn on how to set it up. So again, I apologize. But I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys have any more questions about Oki, or if you want me to cover something else, just let me know. It's your boy Jay-Z Bottom Lip. I'm out.